Hi everyone, welcome to Online Storytime. My name is Susan and I'm here to read you some great stories, and we're going to sing some songs and have lots of fun. Today is Fall into Reading because it's fall. It's my favorite time of year. And that takes us to our first book, which is Mouse's First Fall. And it's by Lauren Thompson. One cool fall day, Mouse and Minka came out to play. Tumbling and twirling fall leaves fell all around. "Look at all the colors," said Minka. Mouse saw red leaves and yellow leaves and orange leaves and brown leaves. "Look at all the shapes," said Minka. Mouse saw round leaves and skinny leaves and pointy leaves and smooth leaves. "Let's run through the leaves," said Minka. Mouse ran and skipped and kicked and swished through all of the leaves. "Let's pile them up," said Minka. Mouse piled the leaves high. 1 leaf, 2 leaf, 3 leaves, lots of leaves. "What a big pile," said Minka. "Let's jump in." Mouse leaped and jumped and plopped and rolled into the leaves. Doesn't look like fun. "I'm hiding," called Minka. "Can you find me?" Do you see her? Mouse peeked and poked and peered between the leaves. Where could Minka be? Do you see her? I see a tail. Then out popped Minka. "Here I am." Hooray! Hooray for Minka! Hooray for Mouse! Hip hip hooray for fall! The end. Do you like that? Do you like to jump in the leaves? I don't like to rake them up, but once there's a big pile, I like to jump right in. And our next book is, ooh, I love this one. I think you'll enjoy it too. It's called Sneeze, Big Bear, Sneeze. It's by Maureen Wright. Here we go. The wind whipped through the autumn woods and swirled to the spot where Big Bear stood. She whirled the leaves right off the trees just as Big Bear let out a sneeze. The wind said, "Bear, can't you see? The leaves flew down because of me." Bear said, "Wind, it wasn't you. The leaves fell down when I sneezed. Achoo!" Big Bear tried to nail the leaves back using a hammer and some tacks. The wind kicked up and raced to the sky, swinging down low, then spinning up high. She said, "That bear knows nothing at all. I dropped the leaves because it is fall." Big Bear walked as the cold wind blew and came to a tree where apples grew. Just as Big Bear let out a sneeze, branches shook in a very strong breeze. "Oh my," said Bear with an unhappy frown, watching the apples drop to the ground. He knew as they fell with a thumping sound that sneezing had made them all fall down. The wind said, "Bear, can't you see? The apples dropped because of me." Bear said, "Wind, it wasn't you. The apples fell when I sneezed. Achoo!" He put the apples on a branch of the tree, stacking each one carefully. The wind swirled round the forest glen, dipping and whipping back again. She said, "That bear knows nothing at all. I dropped the apples because it is fall." Big Bear lumbered down to the lake. 20 geese rested, not one was awake. Just as Big Bear let out a sneeze, waves splashed up like a stormy sea. The geese flew off with a honking sound, flapping great wings above the ground. "Oh my," said Bear as he looked up high. "What have I done?" he said with a sigh. The wind said, "Bear, can't you see? The geese headed south because of me." Bear said, "Wind, it wasn't you. The geese flew away when I sneezed. Achoo!" The wind spun round the autumn woods, then circled back to where Bear stood. She yelled, "Big Bear, I've had enough. I'm tired of this crazy, ridiculous stuff." Wind took a deep breath and let it out with a whirling, twirling, mighty shout. "I whip the leaves right off the trees and drop the apples whenever I please. I scare off the geese before they freeze and tickle your nose to make you sneeze. I do it all. I'm the autumn breeze." Big Bear listened and scratched his head. "You could have told me that before," he said. The wind's deep sigh shook the sky. Bear said, "It's time to say goodbye." He ran to the safety of his den, deep in the heart of the forest glen. Suddenly the door slammed shut. Big Bear's eyebrows shot right up. He jumped in bed and covered his head. "I know my sneeze didn't do that," he said. "It's only the wind on a blustery night, so no more sneezes." And he blew out the light. The end. Achoo! What do you guys think of that book? Wasn't that great? Okay, we have a song now, and I'm going to sing it, and then I want you to sing it with me. We're going to do it twice, and it's to the tune of Zervaga. Leaves are dancing all around, all around. All the leaves are dancing, all the leaves are dancing on the ground, on the ground. Okay, let's do it one more time. Sing it with me. I want to hear you up here. Leaves are dancing all around, all around. All the leaves are dancing, all the leaves are dancing on the ground, on the ground. It's catchy, isn't it? You'll be singing it for a couple days, probably. Okay. The next one we have is by Eileen Spinelli, and it's I Know It's Autumn. And this tells us all the reasons why we know it's autumn. And as I told you before, it's my favorite time of year, and these are some of the reasons why. Here we go. I know it's autumn when the morning light comes late, when there's a pumpkin muffin on my breakfast plate, when Daddy brings my jacket from the storage box, and Grandpa wears a bathrobe and his slipper socks. I know it's autumn when the school bus toots its horn, when we drive past the empty field that once grew corn, when leafy trees turn colors, red, gold, and brown, and Farmer Freddie brings his harvest into town. What do you see? I see apples and pumpkins, all kinds of yummy things. I know it's autumn when our class makes acorn art, when there's a turkey sticker on each spelling chart, when we help Miss Martin bake zucchini bread and yellow mums are blooming in the flower bed. So beautiful. I know it's autumn when we rake the leaves in piles, when doorstep jack-o'-lanterns wear their crooked smiles, when we go picking apples for Mom's apple pie, and noisy geese fly south across the evening sky. I know it's autumn when the moon is full and bright, when we go on a hayride with our friends at night. When bonfires blaze and the storyteller leaps and claps, and all the kids grow sleepy on their daddy's laps. Sweet autumn dreams, everyone. So those are just a few of the reasons we know it's autumn. Aren't those good reasons? The harvest, the leaves, the hay rides, all of it's so much fun. And for some people, their favorite part of fall is football. And that's what our next book is about. It's called Fall Ball, and it's by Peter McCarty. See them all playing football in the front and all the leaves dancing around? In the fall, leaves whirl past windows of the big yellow bus. The children are happy to be going home from school. They've waited all day for their chance to play. Along country lanes past one fat cow, the school bus rattles along. The bus sails over a hill. Whoa! The children feel like they're floating in the air. The school bus stops. Everybody out, says the driver. Careful now. Hooray, shout the children. They're home at last. Come on, Jimmy, time for football, says Bobby. No, look at all these leaves, Jimmy says. Hey, Sparky, watch it. I think the dog's getting into his pile of leaves. What do you think? Oh, here we go. Everyone ready? Says Bobby. Let's play ball. Hey, Sparky, come back. Uh-oh, do you see what's going to happen? See a big pile of leaves? Crash! Right into the pile of leaves. Oh, no. Jimmy, Brian, Ethan, Jason, Katie, Vincent, Bobby, Suki, Martin. Time to come home. Time to go home? Already? But it's only 4:30. And now it's snowing. Look at that. But back in the house, there are good things to eat. And there are cozy pajamas and warm blankets. And best of all, more football. The end. You guys like football? Do you like to play it or do you like to watch it on TV? Which is it? Do you have a favorite team? I don't really have a favorite team, but I think I like playing it. It's pretty fun. We have a little song to sing, and everyone sing along with me. It's a counting song. You're going to like it. 1 little, 2 little, 3 little leaves, 4 little, 5 little, 6 little leaves, 7 little, 8 little, 9 little leaves, 10 little leaves fall down. Okay, let's do that again. 1 little, 2 little, 3 little leaves, 4 little, 5 little, 6 little leaves, 7 little, 8 little, 9 little leaves, 10 little leaves fall down. Okay, are you ready for another book? This one is really, really one of my favorites. I just can't wait till fall every year so I can read this book again. It's about a little fox named Fletcher and the falling leaves. And it's his first fall, so he doesn't really understand what's happening with the leaves falling. It's called Fletcher and the Falling Leaves, and it's by Julia Rawlinson. You see that? The world was changing. Each morning when Fletcher bounded out of the den, everything seemed just a little bit different. The rich green of the forest was turning into a dusty gold, and the soft swishing sound of summer was fading to a crinkly whisper. Fletcher's favorite tree looked dull, dry, and brown. Fletcher was beginning to get worried. "I think my tree is sick," said Fletcher. "What's wrong with it?" his mother asked. "Its leaves are turning brown," said Fletcher. "Don't worry, it's only autumn," she said. Fletcher ran back to his tree and patted its rough bark. "Don't worry, it's only autumn," he said. "You'll be feeling better soon." But the tree didn't get better. Each day, more leaves turned brown. One morning, the wind blew a small brown leaf off of a branch. Fletcher jumped up and caught it very gently in his paw. "Don't worry, tree. I've got your leaf. I'll fix you." Fletcher looked around, picked a piece of grass, and carefully tied the leaf to a branch. Just then, another gust of wind ruffled Fletcher's fur. The little leaf shook itself free and fluttered back to the ground. Fletcher picked it up again and thought very hard. Then he poked the leaf onto a twig and pushed it down firmly. "Now you hold on tight," said Fletcher. "No more flying around." The little leaf gave a tiny rustle in reply. The next day, a strong wind was blowing through the forest. Fletcher rushed out of the den and ran all the way up to his tree. Lots of branches were bare, and little lost leaves spun everywhere. "Don't worry, tree. I'll catch them for you, I promise." Round and round and round whirled Fletcher after the swirling leaves. "Leaves, wonderful, just what I needed for my nest," said a squirrel. "But these belong to the tree," said Fletcher. "Don't take them away." "The tree doesn't need them any more," said the squirrel, bounding off. "Help, help, the wind and the squirrel are stealing our leaves," said Fletcher. "Leaves, terrific, just what I needed to keep warm," said a porcupine, rolling around. "But those belong to the tree," said Fletcher, plucking these from the porcupine's needles. "Not anymore," snuffled the porcupine, and away he rolled. "Help, help, the wind and the squirrel and the porcupine are stealing our leaves," said Fletcher. Suddenly, a flock of friendly birds swooped down from the sky. They picked up the leaves in their beak and they poked them onto the tree's branches. And soon the tree was leafy again. And Fletcher flopped down and smiled. "Thank you, birds, thank you," he gasped as the birds fluttered away. He lay looking up through the leaves at the sky, and he drifted off to sleep. But the wind continued to blow, and the branches still danced. The leaves shivered and shook themselves and began to wriggle free. They tossed and turned and twitched and twirled and tumbled to the ground. They brushed Fletcher's ears and nose and filled his dreams with a whispering sound. When Fletcher finally woke up, he couldn't believe his eyes. Instead of a roof of dancing leaves, all he could see were bare branches against the sky. "Oh, tree, I'm so sorry," gulped Fletcher. But then he saw high in the branches one small leaf still holding on. "I won't let the wind steal that one," said Fletcher, and he began to climb. He crawled along to the last leaf and held it firmly onto its branch. All day long the wind blew, the branch bounced, and Fletcher held tight. "I'll stay with you, leaf," he said. "Don't worry." But then, with a sudden whoosh of wind, the branch bounced high. With a plip, the leaf let go and fluttered like a little flag clutched in Fletcher's paw. Fletcher looked sadly at the leaf he had promised to save. He carried it carefully down the tree and back to his den. He made a cozy little bed for it and gently tucked it in, but all night long he could only think of his tree all on its own. At dawn, Fletcher tiptoed outside. The wind had finally stopped blowing and the air was cold. The moon still hung in the clear sky and pale stars glimmered. As he came to his favorite tree, Fletcher saw a magical sight. The tree was hung with 1,000 icicles, shining silver in the early light. "You're more beautiful than ever," whispered Fletcher. "But are you all right?" A tiny breeze shivered the branches, making a sound like laughter, and in the light of the rising sun, the sparkling branches nodded. Fletcher gave his tree a hug. Then he went back to the den for a nice warm breakfast. Isn't it beautiful? The end. Poor Fletcher. Did you feel sorry for him? He was so worried about that tree, and I was so worried about Fletcher. But it's just part of nature. The leaves fall, and then the ice comes. It's winter, and then in spring, everything's reborn. It's beautiful. So, one of my favorite things about fall are the squirrels and all the little animals are running around trying to get all their food for winter. And they are so busy, especially little squirrels, because they get acorns and all the nuts and they hide them everywhere so they'll have food to eat all winter long. This one is called The Busy Little Squirrel, and it's by Nancy Tafari. The Busy Little Squirrel. Leaves were falling. The air was getting cold. It was time for Squirrel to get ready for winter. "Squeak, squeak," said Mouse. "Will you nibble a pumpkin with us?" But Squirrel couldn't. He was so busy. "Sweet, sweet," said a bird. "Will you rest on a branch with us?" But Squirrel couldn't. He was so busy. "Croak, croak," said a frog. "Will you hop rocks with us?" But Squirrel couldn't. Do you know why? He was so busy. "Meow, meow," said a cat. "Will you lie in the sun with us?" But Squirrel couldn't. He was so busy. "Woof, woof," said Dog. "Will you run in the field with us?" But Squirrel couldn't. Do you know why? He was so busy. "Woo, woo," called Owl. "Will you watch the moon with us?" But Squirrel couldn't. He was fast asleep. The end. He just wore himself out, I think. So, let's see. Are you ready for another song? This one's fun. Let's see. Let me get all lined up here. Get ready to do the song. And I want you to sing along with me. It's to the tune of Hokey Pokey. We'll start off with this. You hold your red leaf up, you hold your red leaf down, you hold your red leaf up and you wave it all around. You take it for a walk and you look for red things all around. Then tell me what you found. You hold your orange leaf up, you hold your orange leaf down, you hold your orange leaf up and you wave it all around. You take it for a walk and look for orange things all around. Then tell me what you found. You hold your yellow leaf up, you hold your yellow leaf down, you hold your yellow leaf up, and you wave it all around, and take it for a walk and look for yellow things all around. Then show me what you found. All right. Thank you for joining us today for online story time. And we'll be back next week at 4:30, every Tuesday at 4:30. You can watch live, or you can watch our archives on YouTube and watch a story time anytime you want. We're there for you. So come back and see us soon. It's fall stories all month long. Okay. Thanks. Bye.